cannot get consistent sales. The people who are patronizing you are only patronizing because they know you and they trust you and they like you, right? But when you can create a brand, when you can create a proper brand, people don't need to meet you to trust you or to like you. Your brand will speak for itself. Because you're able to make them feel a certain way. Okay? Now, in sales, branding is how you turn your attention into conviction and convictions into conversions. It aligns your visuals, message, and value to make buyers choose you, even when there are cheaper options. There are cheaper iPhones, but there are a lot of people dying to get an iPhone 16 today. Because there's a brand perception. There's a perception that even who is not using an iPhone gives someone who is using an iPhone 16. If I were to come up here today with an Apple laptop and flip it open, you would think, this guy has money. That is what branding creates around the product. That is what it is able to also create for who owns the product. How you perceive the owner and how you perceive who is offering it to you. Next slide, please. So now, that brings us to the next thing. Before the product, you are the brand. That is very important. Before the product, you are the brand. How many of us say, the NEPA people come today? The NEPA people come today. The truth is, there's nothing like NEPA people. Those people have names. You don't say the Julius come today, the Peter come today. You say the NEPA people come today because they represent the brand. So as every product you sell. Have you ever called customer care, whether from the bank or from your network, and you're like, if I catch you, I will kill you? They are not the ones holding your money, but you want to kill them. They are representing the brand. That is the same thing you do when you have a product. People recognize you first before your product. So if you as a person, you don't have good branding, your product, you're already giving the product a bad name or a bad look. Okay? So you first, people don't just buy asset rights, they buy you. How do you come off to people? When you're speaking to people, how do you make them feel? How do you make them feel? If I walked into the bank and the teller at the bank is very rude, the first thing I would probably say is, please, how do I take out of my money and leave? Because she has offended me, not the bank. The bank has kept my money safe. But she has offended me, and that's the reason I would probably look to take out my money from the bank. So you are the first brand that people interact with before the product. So if you do not have proper branding, don't just look at yourself as, I have the message, so let me pass the message. No, you are also the message. So make sure you're able to position yourself in a way where you are appealing. You are the face, you are the voice, and you are the experience. Once people hear the wrong things from you, they've heard the wrong things from the brand. Once people see the wrong things from you, or get the wrong experience from you, they perceive that is how the brand is. So even before you come at the brand or the product, before you come at the product, how are you positioning yourself as a brand? As a consultant, when you go out, how do you comport yourself? How do you speak to people? How do you communicate with people? How do you position yourself to be seen? It's not only when we want to look good that we should look good. We should always be intentional about it. Okay? Now, if you don't embody the brand, you're just chasing commission, and that won't last. Branding doesn't stop at the perception you give. Branding goes all the way to, branding is a journey really. Okay? We're going to get to that shortly. Branding is a journey. It doesn't stop at your commission because it goes beyond that. It goes beyond that. So now let's look at this. Let's look at a case study of Coca-Cola. There's a picture up there. It says, taste the feeling. So when you see Coke, you're not thinking of taste. It creates a feeling of happiness. It has a feeling attached to it. That's why Coke would always have people, when you see Coke adverts, you're probably in a party, you're probably in a family gathering. It's the feeling they want you to have, so that whenever you gather, whenever two or more are gathered, it's not just God that is there should be Coke. That's the feeling that Coke has created around it. That's why you never go to a party and not see Coke. Because they created a branding around happiness, a feeling, an emotion. This is the product. I remember when I was little, my younger brother loved Coke very much. So what I used to do was, he didn't like Pepsi, but it tastes the same. So what I used to do is, I would take his Coke and I'll pour it in a Pepsi bottle. And when he sees it, he'll be like, oh, I don't want this, I don't want this. But he didn't know it was still Coke. Because of the perception, he was just happy to drink Coke. He was not thirsty. It was not the taste of the Coke. He was just happy to be drinking out of the Coke bottle. And that is what the brand has created. The next slide, please. MTN. MTN says, everywhere you go. Now, they put out an advert that says, doing doesn't do snooze buttons. Doing dares you to do more. It's telling you that, look, no matter where you are, we are there. They're telling you to push your boundaries. They're telling you to go anywhere you want to go. They are there. That is the only reason you are using MTN. That is the only reason, because of the feeling that they are creating around the brand. Doing makes a plan. Any plan you are making, MTN is there. Next slide, please. Now, asset price. When you think of asset price, what is the feeling you have? When you see an asset price logo, do you see commission? Do you see yourself in a position where you are placing people where they are sustainable, creating sustainable future for people? If you're not seeing that, you're helping somebody to move from dry land to greener pastures, you've not started pushing asset rise as a brand. You're pushing asset rise, you're pushing the product as a means to an end. The moment you start positioning yourself as a helper, as someone carrying a means of transformation, you've not started helping yourself, and you've not started helping your client. Because as soon as she gets your commission, if you don't look at it like this, as soon as she gets your commission, you're out of it. So it is very important that you look at your product, not just as a product, but as a brand. Look at it as a brand. Next slide, please. It's not what you sell, it's how you make them feel that closes the deal. That is very important. How does your client feel at every step of the journey? When he contacts you, how does he feel? When he speaks to you, when he signs his form, is he comfortable signing the form? Do you just rush him to sign the form and send the money out? If you don't send the money today, I'll tell them to increase the price. If they increase the price, I'm going to tell you to pay times 2 of it. What is the feeling you're able to create from the brand, around the brand for your clients? Next slide, please. Now, what our brand is made of? Our brand is made of partnerships. When you as a consultant, you're not just having clients, you're having partners. So it means that every point you treat everyone, clients, customers, staffs, as partners, and not just who they come off to you as. It means you have to hold each and every person you come in contact with hand to hand throughout the whole journey. The next thing is accessibility. Accessibility, because you make sure that it is available for everyone. We all read the vision statement for Asset Rise, right? Accessibility, because it is available for everyone. It is easily accessible for everyone. We have payment plans. But then, do you just tell them, oh, sir, you don't have 1 million, come, there's 25,000? Or do you make them feel comfortable enough? Because who is willing to build a future for himself but doesn't have it? It takes big sacrifice to even put down 25,000 naira. Right? So how do you make that person feel when they're bringing in their 25,000? Do you want them to bring in 25,000 3 months and say they're no longer doing because you're not treating them right? Make them feel good about it. Accessibility. The next thing is innovation. Be innovative. Grow. Don't grow alone. Grow with your team. And that's one thing that I've learned from Bisola. She grows not alone, but with her team. She grows with them as partners. She grows with them and makes sure there's easy access for every single person in the team. And it's the same with clients. And you can close deals easier like that. The next thing is professionalism. How do you handle clients? With professionalism, or are you just nonchalant about it? And you get your documents now. And I answer you when I answer you. And I'm busy right now, talk to me later. How do you treat your clients? With professionalism. And the most important, integrity. This above all, we've pondered about it in asset rights. If you do not have good integrity, you cannot last. You cannot last without good integrity. It is very important, and it is what makes up our brand. And with all of this, we create sustainability. Next slide, please. How clients feel equals to how they buy. You see your post, it looks different. It gives them a different feeling. It's practical. Don't follow trends. Try to create it. So when they see your post, oh, this person is saying something different. How do I listen? When they come in contact with you, what are the things that they hear from you? What are the things they see from you? It helps them connect a meaningful feeling. Now, when they go for inspection, how do you also make them feel? Check up on them. Hello, sir, did you see the land? Did you like it? How do you feel about it? Would you not like to leave them? It gives them a sense of belonging. And the next thing is, after they've made payments, make them feel like they've contributed to something. Many of us are very quick to say, sir, you've completed your payment. How about you tell him the number of trees that he has been able to plant and the impact that has on the economy or the ecosystem? Tell him the impact he's been able to create for communities. For every 2 hectares, someone gets a job. Have you ever thought to tell someone that if you get 10 hectares today, you have indirectly employed 10 people? You cannot take your product to Tony Elumelu today because you have nothing to offer him. But if you're able to frame it in a way where he believes or he sees value or impact he's creating, he will key in faster than he will key into an First Bank shares. So what value are you able to create for him after he has made a contribution? Then after that, engagement. So this is why I said the journey doesn't stop at making payments and commissions. It moves on to the engagement. You tell him, yes, you're making more jobs, more care packages and more trees. Then the most important, he is able to refer you because it is his pride. When he believes that, yes, I've created impact, and he tells his friend, I've keyed into this thing and, I've been able to create this impact. He says it with so much pride that it sells your brand without you even having to be there. There are 2 things. The first branding is the branding they get with your product, and the second branding is the one without you there. So the first branding is the one with you, and the second one is the one without you. How do they perceive your product when they don't see you or when they don't come in contact with you? Okay? Next slide, please. I'm almost through. Okay, this is the last slide. Don't chase price, offer purpose. Close every deal like you're offering them a lifeline, not a liability. This closing line, close every deal like you're offering them a lifeline, not a liability. I want us all to hold that very close to our heart. You're not offering a liability. The moment your client feels like he has a financial burden that he has committed to, you have failed to deliver a good brand to that client. So, to round it up, it's the second half. Time to rebrand your act, sell hope, not just land, and watch your clients come back. Thank you.
A great man.
Good afternoon, everyone. Anytime I come on the stage, I'm always tempted to say, praise the Lord.
Hallelujah.
I know you can say praise the
You
Lord.
have said it.
Mr. Stanley, I told you that you will be a pastor. All right. Please put your hands together for yourselves.